Hey, so today I decided to make another tier list, this time of my all-time favorite sci-fi movies, excluding the horror movies, like sci-fi horrors. I think I'll do separately at some point. Anyway, I also wanted to talk about a couple of things about Silent Hill remake. I just finished it, Silent Hill 2 remake. It's great, it's amazing. Enjoyed it a lot. I got one of the 8 endings, like everything is streamed, and I saved all the streams. You can check it out if you want. So I got the in water ending. I think that's so strange that I got it because, yeah, I mean, I kind of intentionally tried to get it because I read on the net that to get one of the new endings in your consequent runs, you have to get in water ending at least once, and I kind of like did some stuff in game, like checking the Angela's knife several times during the walkthrough, and also like I tried to heal less, although I didn't heal that few of the times. Like I kind of healed all the time, but it still gave me the in water ending what I needed, because I wanna go for platinum, and it's not just that. I mean, I'm gonna be replaying this game a lot. It's a great remake. To me, in 2024, it probably won't beat Wukong, and not even because it is like Silent Hill 2 is my all-time favorite game, like period. But it's in regard of the original, and not because like the remake is worse, but it's just it's different. It's not worse, but the problem is that it's a remake. It's not even a problem, it's a fact. It's a remake, and I don't know if a remake of any kind of a game of any quality can be considered the game of the year. It's kind of unfair. Wukong, on the other hand, it's a great game. It just was so entertaining. It's a different genre, nothing to do with like Silent Hill, of course, but I think it's gonna be my game of the year. But anyway, also there is Stalker 2 coming out next month. I think November 20th. I already pre-ordered it. I'm gonna be playing it. Like the full playthrough is gonna be on my channels, and also I bought a couple of things. I ordered them from the net, so I think I'll maybe have a cam soon, and finally, hopefully, I'll have communication with people also, because yeah, right now not many people engaging with my content, but sometimes they were at some point, and I didn't respond. I ignored and stuff. Like people thought that I ignored. I just didn't see the chat because I was in game. I was streaming, and it was like with no feedback. Now I'm hoping that I'm gonna fix that. Also, I found some amazing deal on an old CRT monitor, the thing that I wanted for a while now. It's a banger. Like the deal is amazing. I will hopefully grab it, and we'll see how it goes. Like, can I even connect it properly to my GPU and do stuff in 2024 on a CRT monitor without like too much hassle? We'll see about that. But anyway, so yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Let's get to the thing. So I decided to make this another tier list because, as I said before, last time I did with my all-time favorite deathcore albums, I just enjoy doing this, although I see that there is no interaction, but I will still do this video. Maybe someone at some point will find this entertaining, and also that's in my opinion, decent recommendation of movies. Like, you can check it out if you haven't. So to begin with, obviously, yes, as I said, so there are no sci-fi horror movies here. This is a separate list for just sci-fi, like sci-fi period, like without horror. It would be very difficult to combine all the sci-fi horror movies inside of this list, because I would have to put the Thing, the Alien franchise, everything in here. That would be confusing, and in my opinion, although all those movies can be categorized as such, as sci-fi. It's a different vibe. And when it is a horror, I mean, as a movie fan, if someone watches this as a movie fan, he probably understands what I'm talking about. The alien is not the same as the uh, Pitch Black, for example, you know, Sixth Day or something. Like it's just different. So they don't belong into the same list. So I'm gonna be doing a horror tier list, of course, separately. This time I'm just gonna go with the sci-fi movies, my all-time favorite. There are several TV series like here, so I will get to them in the end. They are all S tier in my opinion. Let's just start with the full-length movies, and for now we'll get there anyway. So obviously the first, I couldn't do it without this movie. This is The Matrix. Of course, it is a masterpiece, one of the best movies ever created. All the characters, all the actors, like Carrie Ann Moss and Keanu Reeves, just amazing. Lawrence Fishburne, and the guy like Mr. Smith. I don't remember his name. Like it's a shame because he's a very known and very great actor. Actually, I saw his recent movie lately about a dude in the forest. I won't go there, but anyway, it was great. Like 2024 movies, check it out. Like check his latest movie. It's good. It's not sci-fi, not like action. It's more a thriller, but still. Hugo Weaving. I just remembered. Yes, Hugo Weaving. So he did an amazing job too. All the characters, and this movie is kind of still a mystery to me personally, because what if this is real? What if we are living in the Matrix right now? What if some fucking machines, AI, just feeding on us actually? What we are just a source of energy? No one knows. No one can prove otherwise. No one can prove this, and no one can prove that this is false. It's such a fucking amazing movie. In my opinion, the sequels, for me personally, they don't deserve place in any of this. I mean, of course they deserve, but I mean, there are better movies here than them. But still, the original, the first movie, is just a masterpiece, all time, like great, just amazing movie. At this point, I cannot imagine a person living on Earth who haven't seen this movie. But if you happen to be one of those, like, how do I say that, unfortunate people, then you should go and check it out and think about life and rethink your life choices. If you haven't seen it, it's a must. But it would be a joke at this point if someone didn't see it. Anyway, Matrix. I'm not gonna be talking about the plot, the story, because again I think everyone knows it. So anyway, S tier, definitely one of the best ever. Definitely top 10 movies of mine forever. So next is the source code. So interesting story about this movie is with the what was his name, Gyllenhaal, I think Gyllenhaal, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, because it's easier to read than to pronounce, although to read it's not that easy too, but still. So yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah, I actually hated this actor. I saw him somewhere in a couple of movies. I hated his mug. There is, I mean, maybe someone else felt this too, when you see someone and you straight away just despise the person based on his appearance. I don't know why this happened to me. Like, why? Because right now I actually see him as a pretty person, not not ugly at all. But at the time, back in the day, for some reason I hated his face. But in 2011 I checked out this movie, so Source Code, and I really liked the plot twist, actually, because it really surprised me. It was really very well thought out, and I still think that it's a very entertaining movie to the day to watch. I won't spoil anything, but if anyone haven't seen this, in my opinion, you should, because it is strange that it didn't leave um, bigger, how do I say that, bigger influence on today's movies, because for some reason I think that if it was released in 80s or 90s, it would be considered just a fucking cult movie, you know, everyone would think of it as of a masterpiece or something. But because it was released in 2011, I don't know, it's kind of strange, because I'm not saying that this movie is perfect. There are like couple of things, that plot holes and stuff that's going on. Of course, the ending is not that great. For some people it's even bad, like some people would consider this to be a nonsense, but still, in my opinion, a pretty great movie, great plot twist and overall story. And Jake Gyllenhaal, great job. And there was another, so it was a female actress starring also. She did a good job also. I don't remember who was that, but still, this movie is great. I will put it in A tier. For me, it's easily A tier, because it changed my complete perception of one actor, which I then found out that is a great actor, because Jake Gyllenhaal's other movies like Donnie Darko and stuff like that. I didn't put the Donnie Darko in this list, by the way, because I think of it as more of a horror, probably psychological horror thriller, not just sci-fi, you know. Yeah, anyway, so I like this movie. It deserves A, definitely. So the next one is Tom Cruise, Minority Report. I don't know if anyone, like, if it also, by the way, it also gives out, like, its legacy gives out the vibes of the source code, as if not enough people saw it, or not enough people appreciated this movie, because in my opinion this is Tom Cruise's one of the best movies ever that he's been in. Not his movie, like, he's not a director, I don't remember the director. He is a pretty famous one too, but still. Yeah, so this one is just great in my opinion. That the story and the twists and action in this game is just not game, sorry, movie is just great, is A grade. So to be honest, I'm eager to put this into the S tier. Next to Matrix, nah, I cannot do that. It is great, but it's not next to Matrix. Yes, I'm gonna put this into A tier. It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Anyway, but a very good movie, insanely good movie, I would say. It is probably better than Source Code. And I'm even now hesitating. Maybe I should put Source Code into B tier. I don't know. Anyway, no, I'll just keep them here. But yeah, great movie, Tom Cruise, and also another guy. What was his name? Other famous actor isn't there. A couple of them actually. But anyway, I just recommend you to go check it out. Overall, if you haven't seen it, Minority Report. The movie is called Minority Report by I don't know by whom, but it stars like Tom Cruise. Next one is one of my favorite movies of all times. It's The Dark City. I'm gonna just put it here. The plot, the storyline is just insane. The plot twists, one of the most insane, I would say, twists, and the things that are going on. It's just, yeah, I will not, again, I don't want to spoil anything, but The Dark City is about this person who wakes up in a world where everyone is not asleep, but they are frozen. They don't move, they don't hear, they don't talk, and when he tries to interact with them, they just don't respond. And there is what happens next is just pretty insane, and this is one of my favorite movies. It didn't get the I think it didn't get the audience that it deserved, because it was released, I think, at the same time with The Matrix, which is pretty interesting that I put both them like together. So The Matrix released at the same time, and it kind of overshadowed the Dark City's existence, unfortunately, because Dark City is also a very great movie. Amazing. I recommend it, highly recommend it. The plot is just fucking great. So the next one is, I'm gonna skip the TV show for now. I'll come back to it along with others that I have here on the list. So the next one is one of the greatest movies also in history, in my opinion. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger's Total Recall. I mean, at this point, there are also, I bet that there are also not that many people who haven't seen it. It's just a great, such a fucking amazing movie. Action, like sci-fi, the plot is great, actors, great acting, like even Sharon Stone is in the movie. Yeah, so it's amazing. Arnold Schwarzenegger, probably the first time in his career, showed that he can be also not only an action actor, but also he can act like in, you know, thriller setting and stuff like that. That was just amazing. It's a great sci-fi, not fantasy, sci-fi space kind of movie. It inspired a lot of art, by the way, because, for example, one of my favorite games of all times, it's this, where is it? It is this Red Faction. It was completely inspired by Total Recall. When you play it, you understand what I'm talking about. It's just so great. So yes, S tier for me, also one of those movies, like top 10 movies of all times for me. Let's continue. So next is Butterfly Effect. Butterfly Effect is an interesting one. It's kind of a teen kind of movie, but at the same time it has a very awesome plot. The story, definitely not what they make today. Like if they made teen movies or even, like, you know, mainstream movies like this today, that would be amazing. Back in the day they did kind of often these kind of movies, and this is one of them. I'm gonna put it B. I'm not a big fan of Ashton Kutcher, and I mean the acting, you know, but the story, the setting is like the sci-fi aspect of this movie is just great. So I recommend everyone who haven't seen it to check it out. Don't check out the sequels though, they are just cheap, you know. So another movie with Tom Cruise is, I don't know even why I put this here. I think I wanted to put another one. So there's another Tom Cruise movie. I don't remember what it's called. Just a second, I'll check it out. I think because this one is Edge of Tomorrow, and although I like this movie, it's not as good as his another sci-fi movie that he made in 2020s, I think. Just a second, where is his like filmography? French, what? Yes, it's yes, Oblivion. So I meant to put this into there actually, because this one, Oblivion, in my opinion, is a pretty decent sci-fi movie, but on the other hand, like, it's not that far in quality from Edge of Tomorrow. I think they're pretty close, but yeah, and even the story is kind of close. But overall, it's a good movie, like both of them. Yeah, I would, if I didn't forget to put Oblivion in the list, I would probably put it also next to it. So it's a B tier, definitely. Edge of Tomorrow and Oblivion, both starring like Tom Cruise, and it's cool. It's cool. It's a good like time. So totally recommend those movies. So another one is another oldie, so, and not that known, I think. But in my opinion, that's Jean-Claude Van Damme's probably one of the best movies of his. So it's a time cop. I'm gonna put it to A tier. I remember I watched it when I was a kid, like in the 90s. I just enjoyed it so much. That was probably one of my favorite movies back then, and it still is. I had revisited it like a couple of years ago. I enjoyed it a lot. Really great like movie, great plot. Although I know all the jokes about Van Damme, like being a fan of like copying himself, like so many movies where he has a brother or he has a like doppelganger all the time. But this one is actually, in my opinion, very cool, like great movie, worth your time, definitely, about time travel, changing the fate, the history, and actually there are some good twists in it too. Like for example, I was surprised, and that's one of the memorable parts when he travels to past, changes something there, and when he comes back, the future changed, and some people don't recognize him, and etc. That's a very cool like type of stuff I love in those kind of movies, like time travel movies. Anyway, recommend it. Also, Time Cop definitely A tier, deserves it. It is probably in line with those. I think fair enough. The next one is The Sixth Day, also Schwarzenegger movie, another one. So yes, again, like one more film in my opinion that proved back in the day. Although it's like a different era than with the Total Recall, because Total Recall, I think it dropped in 1992. This dropped in 2000s, like 2001 or something. But again, like Arnie continued to prove that he can act. He's not just the dumb, big dude that can fucking destroy stuff. Because although there is action here, he destroys stuff, he kills people, and etc. But he actually acts, and also on a very high level. Total Recall for me is his best movie ever, but The Sixth Day deserves A. I totally think so. So, and recommend checking it out if you haven't. It's a movie about cloning mostly, and I think it's based on some book of, if I'm not mistaken, it's Robert K. Dick or some other writer, fantasy writer. Not fantasy, sci-fi writer. Anyway, I recommend it a lot. So, next one is Pitch Black. It's definitely for me best Vin Diesel's movie, and because I don't like any other of his movies, like any of them at all, and I like this one so much, I'm ready to put this on in S tier, because in my opinion, action, his acting, everything in this movie is just near perfect. It's a pity that he decided against like continuing his career from what he started, like being a sci-fi action more movie actor. Rather, he chosen the fucking Fast and Furious franchise and continues to the day, like making another like part 13 and shit. And I think everyone is tired of that shit. Vin Diesel had a talent, but he, in my opinion, he lost it to the, it was just convenient not to think about doing something new. And okay, I mean, he made the fucking Fast and Furious, he got a lot of, like, a shit ton of cash for that, and he decided just to stay in that fucking lane, and in my opinion, he lost everything. I know there are rumors right now about the next, Riddick movie, so Pitch Black is basically, for those who don't know, is part 1 of Riddick franchise. Then was the Chronicles of Riddick and the other one. They are good, not that good, not as good as this one, definitely, because I think he was already starring in fucking Fast and Furious. But anyway, Pitch Black, one of the best sci-fi movies I've seen, definitely. I don't quite consider it a horror. That's why it is in this list. It's not that scary, not that sci-fi horrors are usually too scary, but this one is definitely more action, sci-fi, and that's it. So, still, as I said, I'll put it in S tier just for the sake of it being the only Vin Diesel movie that I really love. Next one is RoboCop, and in particular, I'm talking about the part one, RoboCop part one. To be honest, the second part is not that far away from it. I just decided against putting all three here because the third is not that good, but on the other hand, it's not that much worse than the second part. So yeah, anyway, RoboCop Part 1, it's a movie from 1991, I think, if I'm not mistaken. A big fan of it since my childhood days. Like, I first seen it in the early 90s, when I was just a kid, a little kid, and I enjoyed it back then. I was just, wow, what shit. And then I think that was at that point I understood how great American cinema is, how it is like best in the world, when I saw the RoboCop. Although it sounds like kind of strange today, because yeah, if you even check out some of those movies, they look so much better. But in the early 90s, for a kid in the Soviet Union, fucking Soviet Union, who haven't seen like much special effects and like stuff like that, and you see RoboCop and you're just mind blown, just amazing. So yeah, and it holds pretty good. It holds pretty good. I checked it out like a couple of years ago, revisited it. It wasn't too bad. Like, of course, the graphics is not that great, and there is stuff that is old, like tech and shit, but it is still a great movie. If you haven't seen it for some strange reason, you should go and check it out. Anyway, so what is this? I just can't understand. What the hell is this? Wait, I'll just find I have it in folder here. I have to find the bigger version of this to understand. Yeah, Snowpiercer. Okay. So this movie has a lot of great actors, as you see. Like, it's Ed Harris, Chris Evans, of course. These dudes, I don't remember their names, but she is a very famous actress, and he is also. It's the dude from the Alien, right? From the original Alien. I think he passed away, unfortunately, a couple of years ago, but still. So, Snowpiercer, in my opinion, probably outside the Captain America role, which is not that. How do I say that? Which is not that continuous. Snowpiercer is probably the best solo like appearance of Chris Evans in sci-fi, because great acting, first of all. I like the plot. The plot is great. It's about the train that. It's a post-apocalyptic movie. I wouldn't again call it a like horror movie or something. It's not scary at all, but it's a post-apocalyptic movie, and it is about a world in which there is only survivors, apparently only on the train that is moving, constantly moving. It's not stopping, and in the end, you will find out what they use as an like oil, like a gas to move the train actually. So it's a great movie, great. I love the plot, I love the acting. There are a couple of like bloody like scenes here. The action is pretty good, and in my opinion, again, it's probably Chris Evans's best appearance outside of the Captain America. So I'm gonna put it to B tier, because it's definitely, when I'm putting it into B tier, that doesn't mean that's a bad movie or something, because I mean B, it's not bad like from the start, but I mean it's not, definitely not S, not A, but it's B. It deserves the place, and it's fun to watch. I think I should like revisit it once more, because I haven't seen it in a while. The next one is what was that? It's District Number 9. So it's a great movie that unfortunately didn't have a sequel, which we all were waiting for so long. It's I think it's a South African movie about the aliens, and it's a unique perspective on the aliens, Usually they are not described like that, and this is the best part of the movie, because aliens are like described as this, they are so similar to humans, and when they arrive on Earth, they are treated just like humans by human societies, and it is the future, kind of anti-utopic future, which everyone lives in shit, and including those aliens, and they already assimilated into human society. I mean, I don't want to go to the spoiler territory. It's better to check it out yourself. But it's an amazing sci-fi movie. Amazing sci-fi movie. It's a bummer that it didn't have a sequel. The only reason I'm putting it here into A tier, not S, is because it ended in a cliffhanger, and we don't know what's up, and we will never probably know. As sad as it might sound, but it's a fact. Anyway, great movie. I recommend it. District Number 9. Just amazing. And the last one out of the full-length movies, I will continue with the TV series next, is this one. It's Time Lapse. It's a great movie with couple of plot twists. Not mostly. I think all of them are unknown actors. Not a very high budget production. They definitely didn't it. It's not a. I don't think it's a Hollywood movie per se. It probably is, but it's kind of low end, budget movie. But it's a great story. It's great acting by those kind of unknown actors, and yeah, totally worth checking out. I'll put it in B tier for the reasons I already stated. And we can finish off with our movies and go to our 3 TV shows that I just love, all of them. So one of them I checked out a long time ago. It was in the when it dropped, Stargate. It's SG-1. I dropped this one. I checked this one out. Saw this on TV in, I think, 2000, when it dropped. Basically 2007, 8, or whenever it was. I don't remember now. But to be honest, I didn't like it that much. One of my friends became a fan straight away. He was just watching it day and night. He was just checking it out and then rewatching the same episodes again and again, and I didn't understand what was the deal with it. And then several years later, I had nothing to do and I decided to give it a go, and I tried to watch it, and then I understood that this is just insane, bro. Stargate, SG-1, one of the best sci-fi TV shows ever, definitely. I recommend it to anyone who haven't seen it. I think everyone should have seen the full-length movie with Kurt Russell and the other dude, James Spader. Yeah, but I don't think you will look at it the same way after you see SG-1 TV show, because TV show is so deep. It has such a great storylines. It has such a great characters. It's so great. I just envy anyone who haven't seen it yet. And the same I can say about the Babylon 5 series. It's a sci-fi space opera, I would say, but it's such a good one. It's an older one. It's from 1994, I think. And yeah, as soon as you try to check it out, to watch it, you will see that the decorations, the graphics is outdated, very outdated feel. But that all doesn't matter when you understand the characters, how they are made. The main story of what's going on is just so insane. It's just so fucking great. I will not spoil anything. It's just basically about a space station somewhere in the galaxy, where the ambassadors of all races of the space alliance, so to speak, they are gathering, and they, instead of just starting wars, they are just having this diplomatic like relations on the board of this ship, and everything that goes down is in this setting, and it spans from like I think from our time, current like timeline, and until like several thousand years in the future. It is it is so great. It's just fucking amazing. Like all those actors, they are not that known. I just checked out their like wiki pages. Unfortunately, most of them passed away, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why the authors they don't reboot it or something. Yeah, I mean, basically most of the characters also died in the. I mean, I'm starting to spoil things. Anyway, that doesn't really matter. It's a great TV show. I recommend it highly. Everyone should go check it out. Babylon 5, one of the best all-time like sci-fi TV shows ever. Like I guarantee you, I promise you, you will not be. You will be satisfied. Just yeah. The other one, the last one actually, is this. So this one is also from the 90s. Also one of my all-time favorite TV shows. It is called the Outer Limits. I will show you the big like cover for it. So if this didn't exist, I would probably put the Black Mirror into this list. But the reason why I will never put Black Mirror over Outer Limits, although Outer Limits is like 30 years old right now, and the Black Mirror is more like technically advanced, of course, because it's new and etc. But if you have ever seen Black Mirror, you should know that they took most of the like stories of the plots, and the best of the plots they took from the Outer Limits. I don't know if that can be counted as a plagiarism or some shit like that. I don't know. I didn't go to the details. Maybe they have the blessing of the original authors of the Outer Limits. I don't have a clue about that, but still. So this is basically a type of a TV series that is not. It has kind of one story inside of one season, and in the end, it all like reveals. But the episodes themselves, they are not connected to each other, and there are actually a lot of great actors in this like TV show. It's Canadian, so you will see Ryan Reynolds, you will see Josh Brolin, and like many more Canadian actors. Now today they are like world famous, but back then they weren't at all. Like they were just, I think they probably were their first roles on or something. And but besides them, there are also a lot of old actors that you will definitely recognize. I think there are series with the guy from the Star Wars. What was his name? I forgot the actor's name, but anyway. So, and the stories are just amazing. And to be honest, what I saw in Black Mirror, like the best episodes of Black Mirror, are just taken from here, remade from here, because it's basically the same story with different graphics and stuff. But there are many more like episodes here that the Black Mirror didn't use, thankfully. So it will be interesting to see the Outer Limits for anyone who haven't seen it. Highly recommend it. It's just great. So overall, this is my kind of rating of all the movies. I think I got everything right, because for me at least, like for each his own. For me, this is pretty much what I think about all of those movies, like the Matrix, Dark City, Total Recall, Pitch Black, RoboCop, and those three TV shows definitely deserves an S for me. Again, that doesn't mean that I wouldn't watch these like movies at any time. Like I would gladly watch any of them. I think I should revisit most of them actually. But anyway, that's that. I think at some point maybe I'll do another tier list. about sci-fi horror movies, and it's gonna be again a different tier list, because there are many movies that doesn't vibe with all those, because those are not horrors, those are mostly thrillers and action movies, and even TV series, their TV shows, they are all like action and thriller type of except the Babylon 5. Babylon 5 is yeah, it's also thriller, but it's a space opera, so it kind of includes everything. It has drama, it has comedy, it has everything. So, and it's just amazing. One of the best TV shows, as I already said. Anyway, whoever watched this, thanks for checking this out. Hopefully, maybe in a couple of weeks, I'll have the camera and stuff like all set up, and I'll be playing through something like, I don't know what to play, to be honest, before the Stalker 2 comes out. I can't wait for this game. I already kind of wrote a mini review, not about the game, but about what I think of the situation in Ukraine, about the company itself. Yeah, but it's gonna be dropping at on November 20, I think. It's a month away, basically, so to be honest, I don't know what to play in that period, because there are no like significant releases until then. I will see, because there are a couple of games like Until Dawn remake and stuff. I just don't want. I finished Until Dawn on the PlayStation back in the day, and it wasn't bad, but it was mostly the action on a controller that wasn't bad. And right now I'm on PC. I prefer playing on mouse and keyboard. I don't know how it probably works well, but I'm not interested in revisiting it, because I know the plot, I know the everything. Yeah, of course there is the thing that you can save more like of your characters, or not save, because back in the day, I think when I finished it, I pretty much saved all of them except one. But anyway, yeah, it's not that interesting. And also they are crazy. Like, first of all, they don't sell Until Dawn in my region, but even if they were, I wouldn't buy it, because it costs like $60 or something for a remake of a 10-year-old game with graphics not that good, and they say that optimization sucks. No chance, bro. I mean, it already fails, and it will fail. So yeah, anyway, not that interested in revisiting it. To be honest, I wanted to play something old. I just don't know how it will go with playing, for example, revisiting Return to Castle Wolfenstein like 20 years later, and then after that playing Stalker 2. I don't know, it's so crazy. We'll see about that anyway. But still, yes, that was my tier list. Thanks for watching, for anyone who saw this. See you soon.